everybody, it's me, Miss Laura. So, we are still in the month of February, and the Chinese New Year is going to be coming up soon. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun if we did something for the Chinese New Year? And so, we are going to make a dragon. And a dragon is a very important symbol to the Chinese culture. It represents power and strength and also good luck, which you know is very important in the Chinese culture. So this is how we've made it. What this is are their circles. And I'm going to give you guys one of our printouts that has 4 circles on it. Like there, this is part of his body, the circles. And then we have his head, which is a triangle, and then some horns. And then a little smaller triangle is his tail. And then we've got a little bit of yarn. This is orange yarn for the fire that comes out of his mouth. And I thought it'd be cute to add just a small piece of yarn up there to add to his tail. And so let me show you those shapes again. So we have 4 circles. And we're going to color each of these circles a different color. And then after we get them all colored, we're going to cut them in half. And that's going to create his body. And then there's a triangle for his head. And then we have horns that we're going to attach to the head. And then a smaller triangle that's going to be his tail. So I'm going to go ahead and get started coloring. I'm going to color these 4 different colors. And then I'm also going to use a yellow background. Y'all can use whatever colors you want. Whatever colors you want to color them. Just make sure they're all different colors and whatever background you want. So I've picked orange. I'm going to do one of them orange. I'm going to kind of outline it like we talked about with coloring. Kind of outline your picture first. The center outline. And then I'm just going to color all inside it now. All right, and then I'm going to use red. Red is a color that you see a lot in the Chinese culture. Alrighty. So there, I'll show you. We've got our orange and our red. Now the next color I'm going to use is blue. Remember, you guys can choose whatever colors you want. If you prefer to color it in crayon, you can always color it in crayon instead of markers. And also, you could always use paint. You just have to let it dry before you cut it out. All right, the last color I'm going to use is green. So now I've colored all of my circles, and now I'm going to go ahead and color his face or his head and his tail and his horns. And so I think I will use red this time for his head. I'm going to go ahead and color his horns red too. One thing I learned in the Chinese culture that their dragons are considered to be friendly, which I thought was very interesting. And I know we have some movies and stories about friendly dragons in our culture too, which I think is nice. And I think I'll make his tail, let's do green. All right, so let me go ahead and get these cut out. There's my red one, blue. And green. All right, and while I have these cut out, I'm gonna go ahead and now I'm gonna cut them in half. You can see from my sample though, see there are a lot of half circles. So we're gonna have 8 half circles after we cut them in half. So, there we go. Alrighty. Now I'm gonna, before I glue them to my paper, I kinda just wanna look and see what order I have them in. You know what, before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out his head and horns and tail. These are all geometric shapes, which we've talked about. And the horns are a little bit of an organic shape. They've got curves and lines, which make it organic. one of his horns. I'm going to go ahead and glue those horns on right now. That glue doesn't want to work. Y'all see what I stop it with? There we go. This one should be fine. There are his horns. I can show you guys. Looks pretty good. And now I'm going to take all my little half circles that I have here. Remember, I'm going to have 8 of them. And I'm going to figure out how I want to place them. What order. So I'm thinking this is the order that I will use. That's for his tail. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and get my yellow paper and start laying him down. Gonna slide all these this way. And I'm going to put his head, I'm going to put it in kind of like a corner down toward the bottom so I can have his body going up in a curved motion. Get a little glue on those ears too, horns. Toward the bottom. That's where I go. That way he has a little space for the fire that's going to come out of his mouth. And then we're just going to glue our half circles down. Just going to lightly have it touch his head. And then the other circles are going to overlap just a little bit. So you don't want to have the same colors touching each other. And you want to put them in like a curved direction. It's kind of like they're dancing. I don't know if y'all have ever seen on videos or anything like that, but in the Chinese culture, they'll use dragons in their parades and celebrations, and it's like the dragon is dancing all and throughout. They'll have somebody holding its head, and then a few other people holding its body, depending on how long it is. Some of them can be really long. All right, this is my last piece of the body before I add his tail. And then I've got my piece of yarn. Just got a real small piece of yarn. Whatever color you have at home is fine. Just gonna put a little bit of glue there. And then put his tail on. Almost ran out of room, but that's okay. Just enough room. So let me show you where we are now. Isn't that neat looking? So for his eyes, I found some googly eyes. If you guys don't have googly eyes, that's okay. You can just use your marker and draw some eyes on him. That'll be fine. I'm gonna put 2 little googly eyes down. And then I'm gonna take my black marker and I'm just gonna give him 2 dots for like little nose holes, nostrils. Kind of looks a little bit like a dragon with a bull's head. And then I've got my orange yarn. Where did I put that orange yarn? Here it is. And I'm going to cut this into 3 or 4 little strips. I think 4 will be good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got a little extra. I'm just going to put a dot of glue, like a big dot of glue. Let me show you guys at home. So see how I've got it like a big dot of glue, and I'm just going to lay that yarn right inside that glue. When you work with yarn, you need a little bit more glue than you do than when you're working with just paper. It takes a little bit more to get it to stick. I like that. He looks good. See the fire coming out of his mouth? All right, and the last step that I did was I added some like little streamers like they do a lot in the Chinese culture, just to give it a little extra. And this time I chose red and orange, so whatever little scrap pieces of paper you might have around, or if you want to color some white paper, you could always do that. I think that should be enough, probably more than I need. And I'm going to turn my paper over, and I'm just going to put dots of glue on the back. And then I'm going to alternate the colors of the paper. So I'm going to go red and orange. Red, orange, all the way up. Just enough, with 1 red to spare. Don't want him too crooked. Alrighty, so, ooh, I like that. That turned out really good. I hope you guys enjoyed this art project. Please send them to me. I would love to see them. You can email them to me or email them to your teacher, and she'll make sure I get them. All right, guys, you have a great day. Bye.